Okay. Oh my God, it's so exciting. So, hello everybody. A little introduction here before we both start. So, Laura and me, we are going to talk a little bit about the current situation we have at the moment, the fears that might come up, the mental and emotional challenges that a lot of people are going through at the moment. So we decided now to make this conversation together because we meet once a week and exchange a little bit. And we thought it would be a nice idea to take you with us on this mental journey, and maybe you find some inspirations. And yeah, Laura, do you want to say some words to yourself maybe?
Thank you, Isabelle. And so nice that you're watching our conversation. I really think, like you said, that that we found out together, Isabelle and me, when we were talking already, like maybe the things that we're saying, they are going to help people, because of course everybody notices all the stuff that is happening in the world, and we notice that there is so much difference in how people are dealing with it. So we were talking about it, and we thought maybe it's nice for you to hear it too. So maybe I start asking you, Isabelle, how do you cope with it? With everything that's happening now in the world? Like first we had the Corona crisis, the COVID crisis. Now we have the war in Ukraine, and that's giving really much buzz in the world, and there's really going on a lot. How are you dealing with that?
The funny thing is that actually with the whole Corona thing that started, I felt quite okay with this. So I started my emotional healing journey in 2019, when we both also have met in our training in Utah. This is where Laura and me had met. Mm-hmm. And we were making an education for emotional integration work. It's called the completion process. So this is what we did and how we met. And since there, I started this journey. I went into isolation and working on myself already before Corona. And as funny as it sounds, I felt kind of more normal when everybody was in lockdown, because then I felt like, okay, then I'm not this weirdo who's like totally isolating all the time, while other people go out and have a good time. Like I was not torn to those things anymore. Like I didn't feel like going to bars and restaurants anymore. So I was really separating myself already consciously from all of this that's happening out there. And I went into my internal journey, looking for my traumas that I experienced in my life, learning about traumas. Like, what is a trauma? No? We often think traumas, these big things like accidents, deaths, and all these things, but trauma can start already on a very smaller level, I would say, and still has a lot of impact in our life. So yeah, I was going into this journey already before Corona. So actually when it then happened, it was not hitting on me that much, I have to say. So I really saw it from that point of view. Oh my gosh, we get now extra time. So when the world is pausing, kind of, so the world stops because you couldn't do anything, you know, I saw it as a big chance to say, hey, now even more, I look at my life, like, what do I want to maybe reorganize? What do I maybe want to create new? What do I want to change? Like all these aspects I was looking at. So this is the point with Corona that was actually quite okay for me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so this is how I experienced it. Now, after 2 years, it's a little different. So slowly I realized my isolation. So I deal with a lot of loneliness at the moment. A really deep loneliness, and I'm somebody, I can be by myself actually normally, like fine. Sometimes I'm too much by myself, I have the feeling, but slowly I noticed that it's getting into a little bit in an unhealthy way, this isolation that is still present, and it has a lot of impact in me. So I try really now to schedule to go outside, to maybe at least go in a cafe. Now I can go again, because in Germany I was not allowed to go in a cafe the last months. I was like isolated from that as well. But now slowly I go in there, and then I'm doing there my work on my laptop and stuff, and not only being here in my room. So I really try to schedule my day, doing sports, going out into nature, going out where people are. But I really need to structure this, because I notice if I'm not doing this for 2 days, my mental and emotional health is going down, and then I'm very quickly into depression again, since I'm struggling with this as well. So there I have to organize myself. Yeah, okay. So that's And how is it with you?
Yeah, whoa, I'm still processing your answer. Thank you very much for it. And it sounds to me, am I correct, that actually Corona, that, let's say it otherwise. My English not so well, but please, I excuse already. It sounds to me that you're part of the people who thrived in the Corona crisis. Is that correct? Yeah.
I feel this way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard you saying, what I actually already also saw when we contacted. So that's really nice. Actually, I think I was also I was somebody who also thrived in Corona crisis. Actually, it didn't do me so much, but that's maybe not so nice to hear for people who did not thrive in the Corona crisis, because I saw very much people around me who were having really problems with it. And the thoughts that I have by that is that what I notice is that, like you already said, the Corona crisis, it put the whole world on hold. And actually it was a kind of uitvergroting, how do you say that? Making it bigger of the things that are already there. That's how I look at the Corona crisis. And that means that if you already felt loneliness in yourself, maybe you were not aware of it, but maybe you already felt it, then it's really striking you. And especially for the people who were really going out a lot, who used to work all the time, who had their whole family structure with all these being busy things. When the Corona crisis occurred, then they were suddenly in a position of, whoa, what's happening now? It's in my face. And the thing that was in their face was maybe this loneliness, for example, because now they couldn't escape it anymore. So I think that's what the Corona crisis was for a lot of people. It was a kind of giving it in their face. And it was not only with the loneliness that people experience, but also with the what I also saw very much is the not letting go or not accepting things. And it's always very easy, and it's in all these self-help books and things. It's always about letting go, letting go, letting go. You know, that is really, really something that is really commonly said, but what does it actually mean? I mean, how do you do it? Like if you're feeling not all right, and if you're feeling lonely, or if you're not feeling okay, and how are you going to accept things, and how are you letting things go? That's really difficult. So what my experience is, maybe a very small explanation. I had in my life already so many moments that I really needed to let go things, that I always say, like, my whole life was one big training of letting go. So when the Corona crisis occurred, for me, it was quite small what happened to me. It was not compared to what I already experienced in my life. But so what I want to give other people as an tip is letting go. If you want to let something go, because that is the way to acceptation, really accepting things. If you want to let go, you have to go into overgave. I'm looking for the English word now. Overgave. Is it almost German, the word? Overgave? No. Okay. Surrender. I think surrender. You have to surrender. And it's surrender, the word. And if you want to surrender, you have to go the other direction that you normally go. It's as simple as that. Because normally we want to be in a comfortable situation. That's always what we are looking for, especially when we're not aware. We are always going to the comfort. So if you want to experience surrender, you have to go the other way. And if you go the other way, it may feel at first that you go into your pain, into discomfort, into irritation, into all these not nice emotions. But if you go there and you really feel it, then you can really breathe. And then you can feel this surrender into it. And that is the way you want to go. Because if you're in the surrender, then you start letting go. And if you start letting go, then you start to accept what is. And that is actually what I think could help very many people, maybe even you, if you're listening to this, also to cope with what is happening now in the world. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
Beautifully said. And I would almost say that letting go becomes a byproduct. So it's not the focus on I want to let go, because like you said, it's everywhere around. Oh, let go of it. Okay, thank you. I mean, if I know how to do it, I would let it go. Like, I mean, these are those advices which are just annoying when you think like, okay, but how should I do it?
Yeah.
So I think what you said really beautifully, going into the direction of the pain, of the distress, of that, and by being with it, accepting it, feeling it, allowing yourself to feel it and to know nothing can happen to me. It comes maybe through my body and I get this stress, but then an emotion, it goes away again. So it isn't there forever. Like it comes and it goes. And once we make this experience that it comes and it goes, we get more trust in our emotions and we get more trust in ourselves. And then the part of letting go is a byproduct. So it happens like naturally on the side.
Exactly. Because it's so nice that that is such a good extra that you say now. It's not the letting go that you need to focus on. It's not the acceptation that you need to focus on. It's going into surrendering into this pain and discomfort and this feeling and emotions. That is the way to achieve it. Yeah. I think this is the short version of it. And actually, I think, do you think, Isabelle, that is also the same with the fear that I see around me now for the war in Ukraine? I noticed that very many people are now also full of fear about this war, that it might come here to Europe or the United States, or that it's coming to us. It's directly going to us. I notice very many people who are quite fearful now. What do you think about that?
It's interesting. I made my last show about that on last Sunday. This is where I also make a little bit commercial for our get together here today, because I was talking also there about this topic. And it's interesting because actually in my surroundings, I'm not feeling this fear so much. There are some people where it comes from, where I feel this. To be honest, these are a lot of people who watch a lot of news and listen a lot to the radio. So there I feel that they are the ones who come with a lot of fear. My other people around, where we are here and we say, of course, we inform ourselves and we know what's going on. It's not that we are blinded and say, oh, we're in La La Land and everything is good. No, we know what's going on, but then we make the decision to focus again on, okay, but what do I want to create? Like, where do I want to spend my energy to? There I noticed that with them, I'm not having those conversations, because there is the focus much more on, okay, where do I want to put my life, in what direction? What do I want to create? So it's much more in this energy flow. And I have also friends who are like, they have their roots in Russia. Sometimes they have people or friends from who have their whole family in the Ukraine, but there I notice a much more like doing energy. Like, okay, one friend, for example, was sending a lot of things. He was collecting a lot of things and he was driving it to Poland and stuff, so where it's needed. But I don't hear them talking in fear. So I don't know if maybe since 2019, a lot of my social environment has changed. So since I'm more on this conscious journey, I have the feeling it mirrors a lot in my external world. So I have really almost no conversations about that. Sometimes somebody's asking me this, and then for my opinion, like you do now, and then I'm saying this what I'm saying, but it's not that this is a topic like every day or it's talked about. And the same was already with Corona. Like Corona sometimes even didn't like wasn't really there. Like of course it was there, but the energy was flowing into a different direction. Like, okay, so here are the cards now that we have. What can we do? And how can we use the day for what it is, and how can we make this day to something that brings us into a future that we want to live in? Like there is this nice sentence that says, if I knew, my mom is quoting this often, if I knew that tomorrow the world would go down, I would still plant an apple tree today. And I don't know from, I forgot from who this quote was, but it's this kind of this energy it is. Because, I don't know, we can say now it could happen like every day something could have happened. And so this is why I carefully say it's nothing really new. So I really say it carefully because I know there's a lot of fear out there and I don't want to bulldoze that. I mean, if you watching this and you feel the fear, it's fucking present. Like, of course, I'm not saying, oh, this is invalid or something. No, it is valid and you have your right and your reason to feel that. With this, I'm talking just to say like my kind of mental mindset and my kind of thinking. So maybe this is an inspiration. It's just an offer that I'm giving here. So this is what I notice here, that the focus in my social surroundings is much more into, okay, how do we want to create our future? What do we want to do in the here and now? And not so much on, oh my God, what happens when the war is coming? It's just a different flow of energy, I would say.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think that's quite clear. Actually, when you're telling this, it gives me the thought about that like you say it. Actually, that's also how I see it. I think maybe it has to do with how people are a victim or not, or how they are behaving as a victim or not, because that's something that I also notice a lot. That when people when they are stricken by this fear, then it gives me the feeling that they're really sitting back suddenly in a victimized position. Although, like you say, there's still so many things that you can do, and you always have a choice. There's always a choice, because your thoughts, you can always have the opposite thought of that you're having. So there's always a choice. And like you said, I think that has to do a lot with it. If you're reading the news a lot, maybe it gives you this feeling of, oh, I cannot do anything about it. But actually you can do something about it. And actually by starting, like you already explained, by starting to choose to, for example, not seeing or hearing the news so much anymore, maybe doing things for the Ukraine, like collecting things or giving money, but that's not even necessary, because you can also start in your own surrounding by just being really nice and helping people around you. And then your focus is going in such a different direction, and it gives you so much energy in a sense of belonging. And that's actually the opposite of the fear of this other people like Putin or whoever wanting to do something to you. No, of course not. You can have a choice in that. Mm-hmm. Is that mm-hmm. Is it clear what I said?
I absolutely feel that. Just a little explanation why Laura and me are not saying like or yes in between, because we don't want to interrupt the audio. But sometimes, since we're so passionate, it's so difficult when you say something I totally resonate with. I want to say yes, but I try to stay quiet because I don't want to interrupt the audio.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think you really nicely. And I say something now that might be also maybe triggering for people, or maybe a little bit hard right now, the way I say it, but start with the man in the mirror. Like, begin with yourself. And now it's this big, oh my God, there's war in the world. But how many people go out there every day, emotionally abuse people, suppress people, abuse their power in their position, if it's in school, if it's in jobs, if it's just on the simple street when you meet people. So there is so much violence, emotional violence out there, which is not seen. No, this is violence that doesn't come with a bomb or with somebody with a gun. But we have so much emotional violence out there. And nobody says their thing, because this is apparently normal. But they are now the ones who say, oh, we want peace in the world, and have the flag on their window. And there I'm getting, how you notice, actually a little bit pissed about, because I think this is so fake, in my opinion. Like, look in the mirror and see yourself, like, where is war existing in yourself? This is maybe a question. Do you live your own war when you go out on the street? How you treat people that you meet in your life, how you treat your family members, how you treat colleagues, how you treat friends, how you treat your partner, your mother, your children, however. And so the war must have existed in the little to now be mirrored in the big. And I sometimes really, it is for me then when everybody's, yeah, we want peace, start with the peace in your own life, start with yourself. And I know this is drastic the way I say it, but it's for me often the way it presents then outside. Everybody, oh, we want peace. Okay, so why don't you practice this in the little environment where you could practice this? Doesn't mean we all licking each other's asses right now. I'm not meaning this right now either. Sorry sometimes for my language, but it is more about like, okay, if you want to feel powerful again, if you want to create love, you don't like you said so beautifully, Laura, sometimes you don't need to be then at the border and do the other things and giving them their die Spenden, how it's saying, like the money and stuff. Like, let's start with what we have here, and suddenly you will notice when you put the love and the kindness in your environment, suddenly you see, or you can observe how your environment becomes loving and peaceful. This is why I mean that the war is not really present for me so much at the moment, because it is, you see in the world what you put out there, kind of. Also,
beautiful. I so totally agree with you, Isabelle, completely. And I want to say to that, because I understand, and I think you do as well, that it is easily said, like, oh, but in my surrounding and for me, myself in the mirror, I'm already peaceful and I'm so quiet and I'm so nice to everybody around me. But of course, if we are really genuine to ourselves and we are really honest, we're not doing that all the time. And actually, that's not a problem. I never want to say that you are bad or wrong if you do it in a way that you actually know, like, oh, that's not how I wanted it to do. Because I think it could help if I say to you, and I see you nodding as well, Isabelle, that it might even start with the war to yourself. So if you're looking to yourself in the mirror, and you start, or you're at your couch and watching Netflix, for example, start not being so hard to yourself. Start being kind to yourself. Stop saying these things to yourself in your head that are actually quite violent already. Stop the war in yourself. So stop making all the time this fighting in yourself. And the first step to do that is to be aware of the fighting in yourself. Because you can all the time, with our mind, we can say all these things, beautifully said and thought, but that doesn't say that it is like it is, because it's only a thought or something you say. So notice, be honest to yourself. What are the moments that you are fighting in yourself? And this can be very small moments. That can be the moments like you are, you need to do something and you don't want to do it, or you think you want to do it and you're telling yourself like, I'm not doing it. I'm so bad. I'm not doing it. Stop this fight in yourself. And actually, this is a nice bridge to the things that we said earlier. Because what you can do at that moment, instead of fighting yourself, is go into the discomfort, go into the feeling that you have at that moment. Like, what is actually happening in yourself? Why are you fighting yourself so much? What is it that is fighting in yourself? Is it this voice in yourself that is saying, I need to do it? And the other voice that is saying, yes, but I want to watch Netflix on the couch, and I want to eat all these chips, and I want to drink this beer and this wine, you know? And then this other voice like, no, you need to do it. And are you still so small, and you're still not grown up, and you don't do it? Yeah, but I don't want to do it. Fuck everybody, you know? This is the fight that I'm talking about. This is the war in yourself. So go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for saying this. Because actually, this is really where it started. It's with ourselves, the way we treat ourselves. And that was good that you put there the focus on now, because this is actually, even like you said, before what I was telling about, before that step, going out and present this to the world, it starts how we treat ourselves. Because otherwise, there's then also a little bit the tricky point. If we're not treating ourselves this way, but we're always going out and do it to everybody else, it can also become a little bit two-faced, because then we tell others what they should do, but we're not treating ourselves this way. And this becomes a little bit inauthentic then sometimes. Then you could notice, this people is so organized, and this could become maybe also then just a coping skill to maybe get admiration, to get heard from everybody how nice you are. And then sometimes this could drift into codependency, or maybe also even like into a passive aggression, when people then maybe don't want you to be nice. This also exists. Like, maybe you want to help people and support them and be the good person, but then they don't want it. And then you like being like this, because maybe you were also just coping to get your own need met through helping others. Yes. So what you said, Laura, is so important. Actually give it to yourself first. And the way you treat yourself will then naturally be something, and this will be then authentic and naturally and organically the way you treat others. This is sometimes just then, it's just a mirroring of that. So I say sometimes, if somebody is treating me like shit, then I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to live in this sad mind of this person, or with this sad heart of this person, because apparently the way this person treats me is a reality that exists in this person. And then I sometimes even feel sad, like, oh my God, how do you live with yourself? You know, when there's like so much meanness and evilness going on, where everybody has their reasons why and stuff. This is not what we're talking about here right now. No, of course, everybody has their wounds, why they behave a specific way. But I love how you say it. And this is something we can start with very easily, I would assume. Like, when we notice and we're aware, we don't need to talk with other people. We start the dialogue with ourselves. And when we feel, I had to laugh because you said it so beautifully with these voices, and especially with the chips, because we were talking about how many chips we both were eating the last weeks. And we are normally not the chips persons, but Laura was eating chips so much. I was eating chips. My boyfriend was eating chips. Like, everybody suddenly eating chips. And we like, it was so funny. I have to tell it now on the side. Because he was opening his closet, and there were like, I don't know, like 10 different chips bags. And he was like, I'm so disgusted. What happened? I never ate chips before. So I have no idea what this chips madness was like the past weeks that was going on. But this is the funny thing that happened. And then telling yourself, be kind to yourself and say, hey, come on, you did your best. It's okay. You know, like, be gentle with you. And this is very difficult, of course, because we're always nice to others. This can also be easy, actually, to be nice and gentle with others. But with us, we like, you know, and this is the first thing to start. Everybody can do. Be nice to yourself, be gentle with yourself. And if the discomfort starts, this is what I always suggest, but everybody's, they're different. Take a piece of paper, take a pen, and write down everything. Just make mental and emotional clearing. So you write everything out that is coming in your now through you, sentences that coming up, feelings that you have. Do you feel maybe your throat is tight, your heart is beating, you nervous, restless, whatever, and write everything down, because the writing is the first way to put it in the material world, and then you have it out of your mind, from your heart. So it helps a lot. Like, journaling is beautiful in a moment like that. Yeah.
Really, really nicely spoken. Really nice, really nice. And one little thing still, being nice to yourself, it doesn't mean that, and that's not what Isabelle means as well. It doesn't mean that you can only do the things that are socially accepted nice to yourself. Being nice to yourself means that you are authentic, genuine, honest to yourself. So if you want to scream and shout out all these swear words because that's what you really want, then it's really nice to yourself if you do that. That's what we mean.
Nice said. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If this is the right thing for you to do at the moment, then go for it, or punch bags, or like crying, whatever feels right. Mm-hmm.
So my internet connection is unstable. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was breaking up in a moment, but it got you quite quickly again. But it was a little bit like.
Okay. So maybe this is a nice first part now, and that we make an end to it now.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel very smooth. It came now naturally to an end, actually.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I want to say still, and I think Isabelle as well, that we are really curious about what you want to hear us speak next time. So please let us know in the comments. And we are really looking forward to talk to each other again about so many things that we want to tell you things about, and we want to help you and make the world a better place.
Yes. Oh, nice. Thank you so much for watching, Laura.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.